Well, a very warm welcome to another vlog. This time around, I find myself in the most beautiful, enchanting Atlantic rainforest here on the west coast of Ireland in County Clare, deep in the heart of the Burren, a very special place. So what is an Atlantic rainforest? And for those who are not aware that we have rainforests in Ireland, I know rainforests, we associate them with the Amazon and tropical areas. But as you can see around me, these thick, spongy mosses all the way growing along the trees here. As I mentioned in my last video on ferns, this could well be a continuation of it. This type of habitat is so rare in Ireland now. There's just snippets of it here and there. Killarney, the Burren and one or two other areas where we'll find, in this case we have hazel trees. There's ash here, holly, an odd oak here and there. So this vlog is about exploring these rainforests, the karst landscape that we find beneath the rainforest here, and the abundance of flora, particularly, and trees that we find in this area. That's what the vlog is about. So I've come down to the Burren for 2 nights, one full day. It's at late afternoon on my first day, and I've walked across the karst landscape, stopping to photograph 1 or 2 orchids. And there's an abundance of orchids on the grasses and between the rocks that typify this wonderful, magical place, the Burren. I've come up now into the Atlantic rainforest, which hugs the side of the cliff. There's very few wet areas in the Burren. The water seeps down beneath the rocks into deep caverns. But here there is a dampness in the soil, and there's a little trickle of a stream that comes down and runs down through an old ruin beneath me. And upon the walls of that old ruin we have hartstongue fern and maidenhair spleenwort and various very beautiful fern species. I may have been as well off making my last video, which I linked to up here, in this location, but I didn't. I made it in Glen and Glendalough. So we're going to move on. I'm going to find my first subject. I'm going to leave the 24 to 120 on the camera, leave the polarizer on the camera. I have it on there now. What have we got here? Robin has just landed on a moss-covered rock just to the right of me. This is an enchanted area, but it's going to be about intimate woodland photography. This is very difficult. I've tried to do this before. There's so much chaos in this type of woodland, but there's so much beauty. And I am not hopeful that I'm going to capture the essence of this place, but I'm going to try. So I'm going to get up and move around very carefully because I really don't want to touch anything in this place. It feels like a church. It feels precious. It feels as if I've been transported back into ancient Ireland. I'm thinking of the Tuatha De Danann that lived in this land, because there's very few places in this beautiful country of ours that capture that essence, that have bottled it, and it's here. So I've made my way through the hazel rainforest out onto some scree here. I've cliff up above me. The sound of the cuckoo and of the various other bird species fills the air here. Ferns, mosses, The view is expansive up here. We're looking down into Galway and out across the Karst limestone. That's just beautiful. We have buzzard just above my head. You might hear him in the sound, just calling, and off he goes. So I've had no luck at all. I've really struggled in there. It's dark, there's a lot of chaos, there's no prominent trees. It's scrubby, for want of a better word, but it's very, very beautiful. It's very special. And as I make my way down, I'm going to try again. Now, spot the photographer in the composition. I've switched to the 14 to 30. This beautiful log drew my eye, and I have it running through the bottom half of the frame. And it's taken me a while to figure this out, to make a little bit of sense of the chaos. There's still chaos here. But I've considered the four corners of the frame. We have a fern on the left-hand side. We have a couple of branches going out on the right. So everything has a place within the frame, but separating each of the objects, the ferns, the log going across, the upright logs. And I don't know whether the camera can capture what I'm touching and seeing here, the beauty of it. It's polarized. I've taken a couple of focus stacked images, the ferns in the foreground, the log, the uprights, just to make sure I have enough to bring it all together. It's a lot of green, but hopefully this will make a nice takeaway, a memory forged into print possibly of my few hours here in this magical forest. Even speaking here, I feel as if I'm polluting just the sound of the wind going through the hazel leaves. We had a peregrine high up on the cliff earlier on. What a magical spot. Okay, I'm going to take this home, we'll work on it, and I might actually print this out. It'd be nice to print an image and to put it up on the YouTube video. Well, I've made my way back now to the van. Rain's coming down now. Made a couple of new friends as well beside me here, nipping away at my jacket and my camera. Now, no. Oh no, hang on a second. You want to use the camera, you'll probably take better photographs than me anyway. So we'll leave it there for this evening. I actually took the 100 to 400 out. Took a couple of shots at these guys here, willing models with some of the hills of the Burren in the background. So I'll put one or two of them up as well. So until tomorrow morning, when I really don't know where the road will take us. Well, it was a lot of heavy rain last night, and I've parked the van on the road about a mile from here and walked up the edge of this beautiful glen. And this is another really fine example of Atlantic rainforests. In the glen here on either side we have pristine oak as well. We can see oak here, hazel, a really good mix of trees and life. At the moment the mist is coming in over on the far ridge. I left the 100 to 400 in the car, brought an umbrella and all the rain gear instead, as the forecast for this morning was for very heavy rain. And when I looked out of the camper van window, I didn't see any sign of that. In search of trees. What a beauty this is. But how to show it off when all around is green? The bark, it's black. Oh, it's very slimy. And it's just a testament to the wetness of this place. The grasses are soaked, the bracken, all of the shrubs. You can feel it when you're breathing in. You can breathe and smell the greenness here, if you can call it that. But it's a really, really special place. The quietness broken by the birdsong with the walls right the way around is really something special to behold. So how do we photograph this tree? And the shape of this tree is quite beautiful. Then I zoomed in to about 120mm, 24 to 120 on, and just captured the green of the leaves and the black, slimy bark. So I took a little break from photography this afternoon. I went to the beach at Benro and sat on the rocks. Actually, I remember taking a photograph down there 2 or 3 years ago. And when processing it, I thought to myself, the sand could not be that deep golden brown, but it is. It's a stunning beach. But I've come back inland now, in around the area of Gortaleca. Mullaghmore mountain is behind me, and the intention was to shoot a little macro photography, but the wind is up. The sun is out and it really doesn't suit that genre of photography. Sunsets in about 3.5 to 4 hours. So I think I'll switch back to landscape photography. We'll move away from that aspect of the Burren, the Atlantic rainforests that we saw in the earlier part of this video. But it's the karst landscape, the limestone, and many people who visit the Burren visit the coastal area down by Benro, the road between Ballyvaughan and Doolin, and see the limestone as it meets the sea. So I'm going to spend a half hour or so in this area, just enjoying it, shoot a little bit of video of the flowers and the trees here, and I'll make my way towards the magical misty mountain of Mullaghmore. Not misty this evening. I've literally just started off on the walk. I'm using my iPhone here and I can't get past these goats just to take a photograph of them. There are hundreds, adults and kids. Like, it's some sight. It's a bit like the Serengeti here in the Burren. Oh, magnificent. Well, I better get up because what I want to do is there is a mountain off the far side of Mullaghmore, and that's where I want to catch the evening sun. So I'm going to follow the goats up the hill and we'll see where they lead us. I spent the last 5 minutes just creating a composition around this tree, whether to go in close or to stay wide. I've stayed wide enough. I've come a good distance away from the tree. But on the 100 to 400, I have it at 135 or so. And that kind of compresses that landscape behind it, brings the distant lowlands into consideration in the frame. But oh, the sun has been swallowed by quite a lot of cloud. There's a clearing on the horizon. I need light for this image to work. I need those rocks lit. I need the golden light hitting those rocks. And I need side light on the tree. And if I don't have that, the image will pale into what it could be and should be, which is a nice image of a hawthorn tree within the landscape of the Burren. So I'm going to wait. A little bit of good news, because I come up around the side of the mountain, and the reason I wanted to climb Mullaghmore was to photograph the landscape behind it. This Danish type mountain that I'm looking at now, but again it's in shade and I need some light on that. Maybe I could have come up a little earlier and I would have had less warm light, but it would have created contrast in the landscape here. But listen, I'm not going to moan anymore. I am going to wait. I'll be patient and I'll take the image of this beautiful hawthorn. It really is nice. I might actually zoom in and take a closer image of it. It's a particularly stunning tree on its own in this wild, windswept location. Well, I can't remember a time, and we all know light is important, but when the absence of good light, when you have a relatively good composition such as this, that I've just happened upon, these two huge boulders, and the mountain that I want to take a photograph of on the left third, and a lovely little bit of rock, very well arranged within the frame, as it just happened. But no light, and these rocks, these grey rocks, need warm light. I've noticed this before in the Burren. You need good light to make good images here, and I don't think that's going to happen this evening. I'm a good bit up the mountain here at Mullaghmore. The light levels are decreasing, so I think I'm going to call it there for this evening. So I'll treat these two compositions as little hooks that'll bring me back to the Burren. And I hope that by exploring the rainforests here in the Burren, I may have introduced you to a different side of this landscape. Because we all know about the Karst landscape, these beautiful limestone cliffs and rocks and the grikes. It really is very different, it's very unique. The flora here draws in botanists from all over. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed the vlog, please hit that notification bell and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. That is, if you enjoy the content. So until then, thanks again for watching.